Hey, this is Nicholas Bilfield, and this is my project. So basically, it is a robotic hand that is controlled via Arduino and 5 servo motors to control each finger. So basically, it works by there is a string running from the tip of each finger down to the servo, and that acts as a tendon. So as the strings pulled, the finger curls up. So most of the coding was done within the Arduino software, and I'm pretty sure it's coding in C sharp, not 100%. And also a program called processing, which allows me to have a GUI that I can use to control the servos. And that codes in Java, so it's a mix of coding between C sharp and Java to create this project. The actual hand itself is built mostly out of plastic from ice cream containers, foam, and glove got from Bunnings. Um, yeah, like the forearm and all this stuff here is made of foam. Um, I'm not very artistic, so it doesn't look that great, but yeah. So some issues I had with the project was mainly one of the servos, the servo for the thumb, broke pretty well as soon as I started filming this. So there's that. Other issues were trying to find out how to use the GUI from the computer, which you can actually see behind me there, to control the servos. Um, Other issues were power. Um, the 9-volt battery was too much for the servos, which I found out a little too late and had to use the little potentiometer from the kit we bought through the uni to lower the voltage enough for the servos to run. Another issue I had, and it's something that took the most time to figure out, was the lights I have at the back. I wanted them so you could remove them and they would turn off. Place them back, they would turn back on. And it sounds easy, but it's actually a lot harder than you think. My first idea was to use magnets, which is the idea I ended up using. But basically, every time I would try and hot glue the magnets in place and then place them in the hot glue that I was creating the housing for the lights out of, it would melt and the magnets would stick together, and I'd have to pull the LEDs out, start over again, and that took me days before I figured out how to do that properly using some double-sided tape. Managed to hold the magnets in place long enough to get them to stick. Alright, so this is basically just an overview of the glove up close. This is me trying to be cinematic with the lights, but basically I'm just showing here that you can remove them, they turn off, add them back, they turn back on. Next up we have, so yeah, the servos up close, my terrible cable management. So basically each of the servo had a yellow cable, which is the controller cable, and each of them went into a pin on the Arduino. Also the ground went to the Arduino. It's a circuit of the lights, and this is basically the strings going up the fingers, acting as the tendons there. Okay, so this is where I ran into some issues. After about 5 minutes of actually working, the potentiometer that I was using to regulate the voltage burnt out. It got too hot, and the insides melted. So basically, I was left with a broken project, and it was at a point where I could no longer get anything to fix, and yeah, I was basically left with an unworking product. So basically, what you're about to see is all the footage I have, which is not much. It's me moving one finger. After that, I basically, all I could do was show what it looked like with me moving the strings, just to simulate what the servo would do. And yeah, but I promise you it was working, and it broke. So basically the GUI just had a slider. You could slide up and down, and it would activate the servo to rotate 180 degrees and back. This is footage where it wasn't controlling anything. I was just showing that the sliders worked. All the code works. You could look at that. This is me physically pulling the strings. This is after it broke. So this was possible. I hadn't got any recording of it, but this is all possible. Yeah.